So how can you finance a spec house with absolutely no money out of your pocket? Is that even possible? So first you have to get the land, get it under contract, then you have surveyors and architects and engineers and all kinds of things you have to do before you can, in most areas, get a permit to even build a house. There are some areas where you can just pretty much build whatever you want, wherever you want, but in most areas you have to get permits, and that requires a site plan, engineering, surveying, architecturals, all that kind of stuff. So how in the world can you possibly build a spec house with no money out of your pocket? So there's a lot of ways it can be done. Creative financing is one of the ways. So you could get the landowner to throw the lot in, which is called subordination. So you pay them when the lot sells. You draft the contract with them, they deed the property over to your entity. You build the house on the property. The house is used as equity because you still have to get the construction financing. So the lot can be the down payment, and the bank can finance the rest if you're going through the bank. Some lumber yards and building supply companies offer construction loans to their builder clients. So if you are a builder general contractor and you're watching this, talk to your lumber yard and your building material suppliers, not your Lowe's or Home Depots, but the professional lumberyard and builder suppliers that work with general contractors. They have a lot of them have construction loan programs. So they want you to put usually 10 to 20%, maybe 25% down of the whole project. So if you get the land on subordination from an owner, they will supply the rest of the money to build the house. And so that's one way to do it. And then you can always work a deal with your surveyors, architects, and engineers, to help you get all the front end stuff done and pay them when you get your first draw. So that's one way to do it if you're a builder general contractor. If you're just an investor and you're hiring a general contractor to do the work, then you can get the lot subordination, you can get a loan from the bank. The land serves as the equity in the project, and you don't really need cash to do the rest of it. You can hire the general contractor, and they can get the front end of the project started for you and get paid out on the first draw. And another way to do it is to raise the money. Get a private investor, private lender to supply funding to take down the lot and build the house, and then you pay them a preferred return on that in exchange for lending you the money, and their investment is secured by a mortgage or deed of trust, depending on what state you're in, and a promissory note from your entity to pay them off once the house is built and sold, that secures their interest and the interest of their estate should something happen to them during the project. So that's another way to do it, is to get a private lender to finance you for a preferred return. You can also joint venture with people that have the funds and you do everything else. Hire the builder or you become the builder if that's what you're doing. But the best way to do it is just use private money, use private lenders to fund the project. You put the whole thing in a separate LLC. The lender supplies the money just like a bank would for an interest rate on their money, a preferred return on that investment of whatever it is that suits their needs, 6, 8, 10%, whatever that investor's looking for. That's all negotiable and up to you guys to decide how you structure it. So that is, and I've done these deals my entire career. That's how I got started initially. And then when I started making money through my business, I started using my cash to fund all my deals because interest rates were through the roof when I was building a lot of spec houses. So it was more cost effective for me to use my own money than to borrow from a bank. Right now it's you can borrow money very cheaply from the bank if you are bankable, and that's a whole nother video in terms of how to be bankable, how to set yourself up and prepare yourself, package yourself so that lenders will throw money at you all day long, because they will. That's how they make money, is by lending it. So they are your friend. They want to lend you money. A lot of people are afraid to borrow money from banks, but that's what they're there for. They want to lend you money. They look for good quality borrowers, which generally means you don't need the money, and that's who they want to lend it to. But you just got to package yourself up correctly. So I'll make another video on that topic about how to woo the banks and how to get all the money you ever need from banks. So these techniques work for building. It also works for buying companies, doing commercial real estate deals. It's all about creative financing, private lending, private money, and building relationships with investors. It'll help you get these deals done.